What's going on, guys? So you want to start your very own adult day center. You want to get a SBA loan, but good old Jerome Powell keeps cranking the interest rates up and you're like, bro, chill out. Stop turning the dial. Relax. Let's go back down. Hey, Jerome, we're boys, bro. Like, what are you doing raising rates on me like this? So the point of this video is to talk about what are those rate hikes? How are they going to affect your SBA loan? And does it still make sense for you to start your own business? But first, like, comment, subscribe, show a little love. And maybe if you do, good old Jerome Powell will make the interest rates go down. Maybe for every like, he'll take it down 0.25%. For every comment, he'll take it down 0.5%. And if enough of you like and comment and subscribe, we'll get this thing back to where it was before. Maybe even at 3.5% instead of 5.25%. All right, let's go. Anyways, guys, so the purpose of this video is to really help you understand how are the interest rates affecting your debt service. And if you're starting your very own adult day center, if you're starting a new business and you don't know, like you're scared to move forward because everyone's painting this picture of gloom and doom and interest rates are up and oh my gosh, this is so scary, I'm freaking out. I want you to understand that it's not all that bad. It's gonna be okay. But you need to first make sure that you put the proper debt service numbers in your P&L so you know whether or not you can actually cover your debt service payment. So that being said, let's think about an all-in cost of $600,000. I'm giving you a random number. It could be a lot less, it could be a lot more. It depends on how big of a space you're renovating. It depends if you own the building or if you're just leasing it, if you're doing construction or if you just coming in and painting the walls. But that being said, say you're starting an adult day center and you budgeted $600,000 to construct the building, to pay for working capital, to hire a team, to spend money on advertising and marketing and all that stuff. And that's your all-in cost to get this adult day center off the ground, your carrying costs, your rent, all that stuff, right? So $600,000 all in, that gets me off the ground. You put $120,000 down payment because you might put somewhere between 10 and 20%. In an environment like today, you're probably gonna see most banks wanting to see a minimum of a 20% down payment for them to feel comfortable loaning during this type of economic environment. Because as interest rates go up, that puts more burden, more debt service burden onto the borrower. And so they might wanna see that borrower borrowing less and putting more money down. So it might be more common that you see a 20% down payment, even though you're getting an SBA loan, which has a minimum down payment of 10%. The bank can still dictate some of those terms. But that being said, that means your loan amount with a 20% down payment is gonna be around $480,000. And if you take this entire situation into consideration, I pulled these numbers from my own loan, which was at 5.25% when we closed on it earlier last year. So I think we closed on it, it was sometime in the middle of the year, but interest rates were, they were talking about raising rates and they started the process. But when we had actually closed on the loan, we had locked in the rate where we were basically 2% plus prime rate. And so the Washington Journal will publish a prime rate, and that rate, whatever it is, basically we had an adjustable rate mortgage and we were 2% over whatever that prime rate was. So that being said, at the time, our rate was 5.25%. And it was good, life is good. And then Jerome Powell was like, let's crank up the interest rates. Oh, 0.5% here, oh, like 0.75% there, oh, another 0.25% there. Oh, let's just keep, cranking it month over month over month. And here we have the fastest rate hikes in the last 40 years that the Fed has ever done. So it is something that is out of the norm because this is not typical. So that being said, our most recent interest rate is 9.75%. So that's an increase of almost 4.5%, almost doubling what our interest rate was when we closed on the loan. Interested in starting your very own adult day center, but not sure where to turn, where to go? Make sure you visit adcpro.com and sign up for our monthly webinar. We cover different topics every single month, and we always have live Q&A, so you can ask the questions that are important to you. Join us every single month. Go to adcpro.com, and we'll see you on the next webinar. So just to give you a little perspective, okay? So on a $480,000 loan, at 5.25%, our monthly payment would have been $5,150. That's both principal plus interest. That's the full payment, $5,150. The interest only portion of that payment would have been around $2,100 per month, okay? So $2,100 per month interest only, $5,150 total payment. As that rate increased to 9.75%, now my payment is $6,276 per month. But my interest payment is $3,900 per month. So think about this, you have the total payment, right? And in that total payment is interest and principal. And if you've ever seen a graph of an amortization schedule, it's like mainly interest up front, and then by the end, you're paying mostly principal. But it keeps the payments around the same amount, but how much goes towards interest and how much goes towards principal always changes month over month. Okay, but this is at the very early stages of the loan, and your amount of money that you're giving to the bank every single month is now almost double in interest what you were paying just 6 months ago at 5.25%. So you can see here that the interest only portion of the payment has gone up 86%. The entire payment amount itself has gone up 22% on just a 4.5% rate hike. So if you think about this, if you're planning to start your own adult day center, this is not to scare you, this is to help educate you so you can make an informed decision. Because with this change, this is about a $1,200 per month increase. It doesn't mean that you can't successfully run, open, and operate an adult day center. What it does mean is that you might need to reconsider, what do you charge for the day? What do you charge per hour? What other expenses do you have that you might need to eliminate? Are there ways for you to save money? Have you thought through your financial projections? Do you potentially need to, maybe get more working capital to give you enough runway, enough time to get open, and to get profitable by a certain time? So it's not to scare you, it's to prepare you. So this is a time where you take this information and you gotta adjust your loan calculator, and you gotta adjust it for whatever the worst case scenario in the future could be. Could rates go to 10%? Could they go to 10.5%? Could Jerome Powell just continue to just bless us with his rate increases? Just come on, Jerome, just give it to me, baby. Let's go. I thank you so much for my rate increase. No, what could that be? What's the possibility of that? Is it 11%? Is it 10%? Is it 12%? So maybe go out on that spectrum, hey, where's my risk tolerance? What am I willing to borrow money at? And can I still make the business work? And if so, what other things do I need to adjust to continue to make the business work? So it's not to scare you, it's to prepare you, okay? Because most people may not understand how this works. So what you can do is you can always go online, get yourself a little loan calculator, and start to experiment with, okay, here's my loan amount, here's my down payment. I adjust this down payment to 15%, I adjust it up to 20%, I adjust it up to 25%. How much money do I feel comfortable putting down? Maybe I borrow a little bit more. What does that look like? However you want to set it up, just make sure you kind of play with it so you can kind of get a range of okay, I know on the low end my debt service might be $5,000 a month, but I also know on the high end my debt service might be $7,500 a month. If I stay somewhere in that range, does it still make sense for me? Do my financial projections still allow me to cover that payment and still earn a profit? So you would want to take these things into consideration. It's again, this is just how to help you prepare. In this process, first you want to figure out what your all-in cost is, and then you can start experimenting with this. So make sure you take the time to do that. Make sure you take the time to build out a set of 2-year projections. So you're going to build out 24 months. What are the first 24 months going to look like? And do you have enough cash on hand to get yourself to a point of profitability? And you got to remember, anytime you're building a budget, you always times it by what? 2. And if you're really conservative, you times it by 3 and it'll probably land somewhere in the middle. So that being said, guys, if you're interested in starting your very own adult day center, go to adcpro.com. Join us in our private Facebook group. Make sure you join our monthly webinars. They're completely free. You go to adcpro.com for that. And if you're interested in starting your very own Active Age, go to activeagecare.com/franchise. And we'll see you on the next one. Hopefully Jerome Powell will reduce the race by then. All right, guys. See ya. Peace.
Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me. If you'd like to learn how to open your own adult daycare center, go to adcpro.com. If you'd like the latest business tips, click here, and make sure you subscribe to our channel. Click here. We'll see you guys next time.